a little bit. It got a little more electric. There's been a buzz that's been brewing as the fellas from Bussin with the Boys have showed up. Hour number 2 is brought to you by FanDuel. Play your game. They really need no introduction, but I'll give you a little one. First up, we've got a 2-time All-American, 3-time Pro Bowler.
Thank you.
Michigan legend, Taylor Lewan.
Oh, yes, that is Taylor. Yes, sir.
There we go. Next up, we have a 3-time academic.
Yes, sir, academic. Academic, student athlete.
And most importantly, owner, general manager, and player coach of the all-white team.
Yes, sir.
Versus all-black bowl.
Hey, you can still make some noise.
Yes, we can.
Everyone's like, oh, wait a minute. What
and
is the
finally, a newest member of the Bussin with the Boys crew. It is college football's biggest star in the game in broadcasting right now, future assistant commissioner of college football.
Hurry up.
Working for me as the commissioner, it is Josh Pate. How we doing, fellas?
We are great. We are great. A little early right now. This place will be crazy. Give us a couple hours? This place will be covered. Everybody's sleeping. They're getting their rest because there's a storm brewing this afternoon in Lincoln, Nebraska.
There's a lot of insecurity talking right now. People about Barry's last night was a little bit dead, a little bit worried that the Mason Blue came into town. Everyone's like, we'll just stay indoors.
They're getting their sleep. Certain
movie when that tumbleweed goes by, everyone's like, oh damn, they're here.
But so BMAC, Danny, a couple of weeks ago, you're in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
You do the pregame.
Yeah.
You're on the sideline. Big time upset happens. Field gets stormed. And I just wake up this morning, because I wake up thinking about you guys a lot, and I think to myself, what if that happens here today? Can you imagine the scene? Like kicking over an ant bed and a bunch of red ants just scurry all over the place.
Juice this up, Pete.
If that happens, I will be $1,000 richer because I was on the airplane on the way here. I was sitting behind a diehard Nebraska fan, and I asked him. I said, "If you guys win, do you think you'll rush the field?" And you know what he's like? "No, we're
not
Nebraska."
Us.
And I said, "I bet they do."
No question.
And so I'm going to be on the sideline telling people. I'm going to be inviting them. I'm going to be opening up the gates, so to speak, to get them on the field, and I'll get my grand after the game.
I mean, when you think about Nebraska, of course, the tradition, prestige is there, but it's been a long, long time since they've been super relevant in college football, in the world of college football. So last double-digit win season was, what, 2012 or something? It's been a long time.
2012, who was on the field? Just
yours truly.
Willie
right?
C.
Academic All-American.
No question.
Oh, that's awesome. So you guys, I saw a pretty large wager that was put on this game from you. What else is at stake besides just the 50 large that's on the game? What about between the two of you? I mean, there's some side action, right?
We had this conversation early in the week, Monday, on our Bus with the Boys weekend recap, and I came to the table with a few things. Will always starts at no and eventually gets the yes somewhere. So he goes, hey, there's been nothing back and forth. I said, whatever you want to do, we can do. So this is what we ended up on. The loser has to shave their head and their face. You get to keep your eyebrows.
Keep eyebrows.
Keep your eyebrows. The loser has to concede the 1997 national championship to the winner.
Yep.
And we will be donating $50,000 to the NIL collective of the winning team.
Wow.
So those are the 3 things we're doing.
Wow.
And then,
That's massive. No, but you know what?
50,000 might get you like a backup kicker these days.
Yeah, no doubt. But a kicker nonetheless, we got to have.
The shaved head should happen on camera.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
I don't think there's anything Will and I do at this point in our lives that's not on camera.
Does the stash have to go?
It has to go, and it is.
Wow.
I am very wrapped in the identity of my mustache. Like I lost a bet last year where I had to shave it, and I came home. My children wouldn't give me hugs or kisses. They kept calling me a weird guy. So there will be turmoil in the Lewan household if this happens.
No doubt. So Pate, you've been all over America at different college campuses, different college towns, and you were telling me before this is your first time to Lincoln, Nebraska. Impressions so far as you've been here?
So our crowd continues to build behind us. We were at the theater last night, which you told me is a small, like 1/100th preview of what it's going to be like tomorrow. But the topic of the Colorado game a couple of years ago came up last night. Most of us weren't here for it, but a lot of us watched it on TV. And Dion in Colorado came in here, and I equated it in my mind to, you remember when Sark took Texas into Arkansas in his first year, and you turn it on. Texas is favored, and all of a sudden you turn on the game, and you feel like that place looks insane. No one could win in there today. The Chiefs couldn't go in there and win today. And I just remember the environment punching me in the face. So Nebraska's home game against Colorado a couple of years ago. I turned the TV on. Yeah, last year.
Faces painted.
Metric system.
Yeah.
I turned the game on. It feels the same way to me. And so I wonder, like, do we find ourselves early second quarter today? And you're saying to yourself, I was ready for an environment, but I don't know that I was ready for this environment. I don't know that Michigan was ready for this environment, because that's a seasoned organization. Yeah. You guys go on the road all the time. You've gone into Columbus, Ohio, and it's just no problem. It's business as usual. So what if they come in here today and Nebraska is a problem? That's what I keep thinking about.
I cannot wait to see this matchup unfold. We do have a unique situation. I'm curious to know, Taylor, what you think. Sharon Moore not on the sidelines. Yep. We saw last week a big part of the storyline was people were like, man, maybe it's better because Chip Lindsey was able to kind of open up the offense. And it might just be that we're getting Bryce Underwood more experience. What impact do you think Biff Poggi makes in Sharon Moore's absence? Like, is it that much different for the players on game day?
Biff said it in a couple of his press conferences where he talks about, I'm basically the caddy to Tiger Woods. I'm just figuring out what club to use for him. And so when you go into Central Michigan game, I watched the Oklahoma game, and there was a piece of me that's like, this doesn't seem like a productive way to call your game. It was, you're running the ball a lot on 3rd and 6. You're not trying to push the ball down the field. It was the first hostile environment that Bryce Underwood was. I think he was like 18 years old and like 4 days at that point. You go into Central Michigan at home, and you see the playbook, you see the potential of the University of Michigan. So I don't think this is necessarily like, oh, because Sharon's not there, they're going to be more successful. I think that's the guy. He's been unbelievable. He's a huge part of their success in winning a national championship. But allowing these guys to open it up, let him play, so when Sharon comes back, he knows, oh, we've got a squad, and we can see like what our full potential is from an offensive side of the ball. It's going to be awesome to see it today.
Hey, Will, how important is this game for Nebraska? Year 3 for Matt Rule.
It's everything.
Right, year 3 for Matt Rule.
Yeah.
You look at the previous destinations he's been at, year 3, I mean, double-digit wins, so like a heck of a year. And the expectations for him, most people feel like this could happen. But you have to get through this game for him.
Yeah, I think when we were talking earlier about, like, is Nebraska, would they storm the field? It wouldn't be more so that they're storming the field because you beat Michigan. It's this place would storm the field if it happened because of the drought or since what'd you say 2012 was the last double.
And we got to stat check that. I got to make sure. It's been a long time.
I think you're right.
Last
you are right.
Win season was 2012.
It was 2012. I got it. Okay.
Yes, with Bo Pelini and Willie C. But it would be because you would just all of the faith, all of the Kool-Aid, everything would be pouring into the soul of this town, of this state, because now Nebraska wins this game. You're talking about Nebraska in the college football playoff.
Yes.
Nebraska wins this game. Dylan Raiola statistically had the stats against the first 3 opponents, but you beat Michigan. Dylan Raiola is now in the conversation for the Heisman. You win this game, this place is going to be electric, and it just fills the soul of this city.
All right, Taylor, I'm going to start with you because we're going to have some fun here. Because legendary programs, Michigan and Nebraska, it is hard to whittle down the greatest players from each program. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of Michigan greats?
Okay, all right, we're not going to do any prep. We're just going to go right into this.
I'll let Josh Pate
think of all the guys you can let down
if you want.
You got to go with, obviously Charles Woodson's on there. Yep. A guy for me that is #1 offensive lineman of all time in my book. It's Jake Long. He deserves to be on that. He's the best offensive lineman to ever play. Yeah. Love Steve Hutchinson as well. Ooh. And then Desmond Howard. I mean, this is going off the top. I sat in the back and we kind of hung out. I got myself an ice black coffee, and I didn't really think about what are the Mount Rushmore guys. But off the top of my head, those 4, to me, it's you can't mention Michigan without mentioning those 4 guys.
Couple offensive linemen. I like that.
Got to have them.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
That's the heart and soul.
Definitely. I love that. All right, now Nebraska. Who you got? Mount Rushmore.
Ahman Green.
Yeah.
Saw Ahman Green here.
You've got to have the most underrated quarterback in the history of college football.
Denard Robinson, absolutely. I agree with that.
Tommy Frazier, back-to-back natties.
Mount Rushmore of Nebraska greats. You got to go Tommy Frazier.
There's a defensive tackle.
Dude, I'm putting Sue on there
Should have won
all
the
day.
trophy.
Keep in mind, we're also live, so if you want to speed up the thought process.
I'm just trying to think, do I get my backers in there? You got Levante David. You got Barrett Ruud.
Mike Rozier.
Eric Crouch. Rex Burkhead.
I think a Mount Rushmore only has 4, though, right?
Yeah.
You got to pick 4. You got to pick 4.
Taylor Martinez, Kenny Bell.
All the Martinezes. Nebraska's always has like 5 Martinezes just always coming through the ranks.
Tom Osborne.
Yeah.
It's a big Mount Rushmore.
Do you guys think there's a lot of programs that are kind of struggling to get back to the eras that we've seen in previous history of college football? And even Bama's trying to figure out if they can become a dynasty again. Do you think we'll see programs that have a run like Alabama just came out of, like we saw Florida have with Urban Meyer, Florida State with Bobby Bowden, Nebraska with Tom Osborne? Is that possible with today's NIL and portal? Because I think parity is here to stay. Do you think teams can return to that sort of dominant era where you have a 10-year run of just running through your opponents?
I think that's a great Josh Pate question.
There's no way. I mean, there's almost no way. I was listening to Mario Cristobal talk yesterday, and he said he keeps getting asked about the old Miami. Hey, could you ever get this back to the way Miami was? He had a really good answer that I think a bunch of programs should copy and paste. Kalen DeBoer should copy and paste it. Kirby's still at Georgia, and even Kirby should copy and paste this about himself now and moving forward. Mario said, we're not really trying to sell getting back to the old Miami because, with all due respect, I mean, these are basically paraphrasing his words. That's not happening anymore. That was a special era. You're basically pre-internet for college kids. You're pre-social media, but you're pre a lot of mechanisms that exist in college football today. What he said, and what I agree in, is you've got to basically pave the way for whatever the new Miami is going to be. Ditto for Florida State. Ditto for any other program. Alabama. I mean, you can still hear the echoes of the Nick Saban era, but even Saban realized towards the tail end of his era, that's done. Even if I stay here, that's done. So I don't know what dominance even looks like. I think dominance is being high enough up on the ladder to where if you reach your arm out, you're within reach of the belt every year. Doing that consistently, to me, shows more skill than, the crapshoot that is the playoff if you get there.
Yeah.
I think this new era of college football, the most recent dominance that we saw from Kirby Smart, is what the reality is because of the transfer portal. And heck, even coaches are jumping ship. You know what I mean? So when you talk about those legacies, those coaches were there forever. They weren't going anywhere. Nick Saban was there forever. Bobby Bowden was there. Lloyd Carr, Philip Fulmer, Tom Osborne. They were there for quite some time to be able to build a foundation that they can build onto their legacy. Nowadays, I can play at Michigan this year and go to Nebraska next year. It doesn't make any sense, and coaches are doing the same thing.
Yeah, what you need to do is figure out these NIL rules, these transfer portal rules, start locking it up. I think we need to play the national championship a little bit earlier in the season. Once that national championship is over, the portal opens up, and everyone's allowed to pick the next school they go to. And they have like a one-time when you're allowed to leave and do your thing. But the college football landscape is going to look a lot different because there's so much more money in it. The thing that excites me about this is you're going to see these schools that are kind of an afterthought, Texas Tech being one of them, where there's like they always had money, but they couldn't legally get it to their guys. Now they have the ability to have their people invest into it and bring in new players that they had this past year and kind of like recharge a school to where you see these schools have dominant quarterbacks, and then they leave. But you have a new quarterback that came in, but now you got to wait 1 or 2 years. Now you get these programs that have the liquidity to do so. They grab their quarterbacks when they know this. Hey, this one's leaving, this one's going to the NFL. You bring a new one in, so it's more of a reload process for these big-time programs. As far as one standing out, I think I like the fact that it's going to be you never know every year because everyone's a little bit better.
I think so, too. I think it's exploded the popularity of the game. Ratings are up across the board. I think it's because it's brought a lot of teams back to the table. Last year we saw Arizona State, SMU, Penn State, like new teams get to the playoffs that never thought they had a chance of doing it. You guys have absolutely been crushing the game with Bussin' with the Boys. You guys have absolutely exploded. I'm a little bit surprised, though, that you let an op as a part of your crew because my man Josh Pate has just been like laying in the weeds. He acts like he's a national.
He's bulletproof,
but I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is
the future commissioner of college football.
He might be the future commissioner of the SEC as well because deep down inside,
job's open.
He's an SEC homer in there. Let's get to it though. Big Ten or SEC? Best conference in college football right now.
It's not close. It's not close. Before NIL, the SEC, a lot of great 5-stars in there. A lot of guys driving their nice cars all of a sudden. Had chains in the SEC.
A lot of Dodgers
Big Ten. They focused on hard-nosed football. And all of a sudden the NIL opens up, and Big Ten can start paying their players, and it really equals everything out. 2 national championships in a row. You guys are welcome a couple of years ago. Ohio State backed us up the year after that. I don't think it ever goes back to the SEC for a very long time. It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
How are you defining it? Is it national championships? Is it depth? Because that's the propaganda he'll be spreading.
Yeah, exactly.
every week, is the depth from top to bottom. But I do, like right now, if I'm going to be as unbiased as possible and not a homer, I would say the SEC from top to bottom is a better conference overall, but the top dog is where the national championship is in the last couple of years. The last few years has been the Big Ten.
Pate?
I hope so badly Texas Tech makes a run this year so that people who say that are forced to say, Big 12, man. Big 12 running college football right now. Here's what I'll say. Also, like you said, as a completely unbiased observer of this great sport of ours, no rebuttal, I look at the SEC 4 shelves, okay? I don't think there is a single product on shelf 1 right now. I don't think there's a single product on shelf 4. Everyone's on shelf 2 or shelf 3. I think there is some shelf 1 inventory in the Big Ten. So if we're using the standard of best teams in the country right now, Big Ten's my answer. If we're going depth of competition, I think the 9th and 10th teams in the SEC are much tougher to play against for the 1s and 2s than the Big Ten. So pick your poison, pick your preference. I'm going to go with SEC right now because I got to go home later.
BMAC, any case for the ACC down there? Any case for the ACC?
This is a good conversation. I mean, it's barbershop talk, right? But I think for me, playing in the ACC, currently I would say it's the Big Ten. I think if you talked about the top teams in the Big Ten, I would take them over the top teams as we see in this early college football season in the SEC.
Agreed.
And another team that no one is really talking about in the Big Ten is Oregon. I think Oregon could be one of the best teams in the country when you look at their style of play and their head coach in Dan Lanning. You know what I mean? So right now, I would say the Big Ten.
You know what's interesting, though? Watch out for the depth of the Big Ten. If Nebraska wins today, all of a sudden we're talking about more teams that are coming back to the table in the Big Ten. USC is another one. Looks like they might be returning to form. Washington is looking better. So the depth is coming as the NIL and the portal starts to bring some of that talent throughout the Big Ten. I think that gap has been closed. I think the Big Ten
and another
is top of the
game with
world.
depth concerns Indiana, Illinois. As well.
So, no doubt.
I mean, the depth is really there in the Big Ten, quietly under the radar.
All right, who wants to make some money? Anybody want to make some money?
Want to make some money?
Because we got the fellas are going to give out some best bets. You want to pay attention to these. Back with more here from Lincoln, Nebraska, live on CBS Sports.